out here in San Francisco this week because we want to dive right into the heartland of American innovation. And that often means going off the tape to talk to game-changing, privately held companies that are leading the way in their particular industries. Which brings me to Theranos, a revolutionary diagnostics company that empowers individuals to take better control of their own bodies, while at the same time upending the existing paradigm that's costly, inefficient, and painful for the client, namely you. This is a revolutionary company that threatens to change healthcare the same way that Amazon changed retail, or Intel and Microsoft changed computing, or Apple, yes, changed the cell phone. It could be that huge. And you might be checking it out yourself at a Walgreens near you, as the gigantic worldwide drugstore chain has adopted Theranos' solutions. Could this be the future of preventive medicine? Let's take a closer look with Elizabeth Holmes. She's the founder and CEO of Theranos, who also happens to be the youngest self-made female billionaire in America. Ms. Holmes, welcome to Mad Money.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Thank you. All right, Elizabeth, you're doing something that's so profound that you're giving transparency. You're also making it so that it's easier, better for the consumer. There's a little device that you have that I think is the good metaphor to start with. Could you show us and tell us what it is?
Absolutely. So this is what we call the NanoTainer, which is a very small tube that's designed to replace the big vials that you take out of your arm when you draw blood traditionally with a tiny drop that can come from a finger.
Okay, so what does this mean for the traditional way we do diagnosis, and how would it upend the paradigm? Because I know you don't want to think small.
The goal is to empower the individual. We believe strongly that the future of healthcare is in enabling the individual to have the information that they need to take ownership of their health, and making lab information, which drives 80% of clinical decisions, more accessible by making it as painless as possible, making it incredibly inexpensive, and providing transparency around pricing so that people know before they buy a healthcare service how much it's going to cost them. We can begin to make it possible to enfranchise the individual and get them engaged.
Now, this is not some pie in the sky. First, we got a great board of directors. We all know that. But Walgreens Boots, that's the largest. They have decided that your way is the way to go.
They have. We are in 41 wellness centers in Arizona. We've been able to serve a huge number of people over the course of the last year, and it has been phenomenal to see what it means for people to begin being able to afford the ability to do a test when they haven't been able to do that before, and being able to do it in a location that's convenient. For example, being able to come in on a weekend to get tested as opposed to having to go to an emergency room, which was the alternative before.
Now, if people know that they have to get stuck, it's something, you've described it as like spiders. There's certain phobias. Having a needle in your arm is something that has kept people from taking care of themselves, right?
Absolutely, myself included. I'm absolutely terrified of it. And I mean, I've always said if you were to sort of think of torture experiments, it would be a phenomenal one, because you sit there and sort of watch as your blood is sucked out of you. And it's incredibly painful for cancer patients who go through hell with all the blood that they have to get drawn, or little kids. We've had a phenomenal experience working with mothers of autistic children who resonate so strongly with this, because otherwise when they take a child to get their blood drawn, they literally have to strap the child into a chair.
Well, there's an entrenched interest. Two big companies, Laboratory Health and Quest Diagnostics, $11 billion in revenues. They obviously need to stop you, or else a major part of their business goes away. Aren't you just a small company that they can crush?
You know, we have a belief system, which is that this is not about us or our technology. It's about giving people a basic right that they have lost, which is the ability to get access to their health information. And our belief is that the cost of testing should be lower across the board. We've been billing Medicare and Medicaid at 50 to 90% off of their reimbursement rates, and working with them now to lower their rates, because in the past, Medicare has paid the most, which you don't normally hear, government services paying more than, commercial entities. But if we can drop those rates, if we can make it possible for every person, irrespective of where they go, to do a lab test, to be able to afford it, we'll begin to help them engage with the information they need before they're sick, which is the essence of what we think needs to happen in reshaping our health.
This is not just a United States issue. I mean, emerging markets, this would be a fabulous thing.
It is so important to us, and we think about it a lot, especially in environments where there is not good traditional infrastructure, and there's a phenomenal opportunity to leapfrog over the lack of effective conventional infrastructure in the same way that cell phones did to landlines, to make it possible to begin to build something that can serve people in a decentralized context.
And just one last question. To me, it's reasonable to compare you, I usually don't do this, to Steve Jobs and what he did for computing. I regard you as a visionary, next generation person. Is this the kind of ridiculous pressure that nobody needs?
You know, Steve Jobs was, I don't think there is another Steve Jobs. He was a phenomenal entrepreneur. We've got an incredible opportunity to try to uphold a legacy in Silicon Valley of changing the world. And
disrupting the world.
We're working 24/7 to do it.
Well, I understand that's exactly how you work. That's Elizabeth Holmes. She's the Theranos founder and CEO. Congratulations on all the success you've had, and I sure hope you win.
Well, it's a privilege to be here. Thank you.
Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.